like to call to order the annual town meeting for the town of Upton, May 7th, 2026. So, as you are aware, there's still a number of people that are outside, and we need to allow them to get in because they were here at 7 o'clock. So, in just a minute, I'm going to call the recess, but just relax. There's one other thing I have to do. I just spoke with the town clerk, and I asked her, has the warrant been posted according to the laws of the state of Massachusetts? She said that it has been. So this is a legal meeting. So the other thing I want to do before I recess is the following. This is sort of like the way it is when you go to a movie theater, where everyone leaves one seat between everybody. So, in order for all of those folks to comfortably get into this room, I'm going to ask you all to do the following. The people in the, don't do it yet, but the people in the center, I'm going to have you stand and move in this way. The people over here, stand and go that way. Over there, the opposite. The two sections in the back, you're going to stand and squeeze yourself in. I don't want any seats between anybody so that the folks out there can comfortably get in here. Please do that now if you can. Please stand and shrink together. This meeting will be recessed for like 10 to 15 minutes and we'll come back then and get going. Thank you. Okay. We are ready to start. So, as you can imagine, we have well over 100 people in the gymnasium. So, a lot of people here, but what's the count? 602 is the official count. So, thank you all for being here. Okay. By the way, the record is 783. Don't be disappointed. It happened to be a school issue. It was the meeting to build all three schools, okay? This one, the one in Mendon, and the the elementary school, whatever. So, that's kind of how it works sometimes. So, I want to reconvene this annual town meeting. What's the time again? 7:31 we will be reconvening. So, there we go. So, before we go through a lot of the nuts and bolts of things, I want to ask the Board of Selectmen. We have the Pledge of Allegiance, but I've heard a rumor that we have a group of people here to help us out.
Yes, I do. Usually the chair leads the Pledge of Allegiance, and it is my pleasure tonight to introduce the next generation of leaders. I'd like the Cub Scouts of Mendon and Upton, Den 1, to come forward, and they will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please turn your attention to the flag of the Cub Scouts.
All. Right face, forward face. Grass right. Forward face. Scout salute. Left face. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2. Forward face. Right face. March.
Since we have some extra logistical things to deal with, I will ask the following question. Mr. Maynard, I know that you're in the gymnasium. If you could have somebody walk to one of the doors here and give us a thumbs up, I would appreciate that. Then I know you hear us. Okay? So we'll just give them a minute or so to get over here while I explain some of the rules and regs of what we're doing tonight. So, this is an annual town meeting, and as most of you know, The way we have an annual town meeting is that we have a warrant that's been put together by the Board of Selectmen, okay? It's been posted for at least 1 week, but the information that's on the warrant has been available for a few months now, okay? So if you've been looking online and asking questions and visiting and so on and so forth, then you do know that you have a legal warrant, as was stated a while ago, okay? But I ask that, could you keep the doors open in the back, because we need as much airflow as we can. And could somebody go over to the gymnasium and make sure that they can hear us over there? Okay? Because if they can't, then we need to do a few more logistical things. Oh, you sent me a text? Let's see. It's hard to hear you in the gym due to ventilation issues. But please speak, and I ask all speakers to speak. Let's see. Sorry, folks, just give me a minute. Slowly, speak slowly and clearly. Wow, that's right. We need to do that. Thank you. So please do that when you come into the microphone. So, okay. Like I said, we have a warrant, we have articles, and from those articles, we then make motions. And then with those motions, we then end up voting on those motions, okay? We're going to go through a process tonight where the first thing we do after we get through all the procedural things here is we will have a number of articles that we put on what is called a consent calendar. And what a consent calendar is a list of articles that for years and years and years are boilerplate type issues. They don't have any questions typically. They don't have anything that's controversial about them. We do them all at once to save time. So that'll be coming up first. Okay? Then after that, we will then have the budget that we go through, and there'll be a holding process for that, just like there will be for the consent calendar as well. For those of you who haven't been through the holding process, then the best I can say is think of this as a teachable moment, please, and watch the way the process works. We go through department by department, and if anybody wants something held, hold their hand, they'll, Mr. Moderator, I'd like to hold such and such an item. It's important to note that if you haven't looked at this ahead of time and you're really not sure whether you should or shouldn't, please go with the flow, okay? The Finance Committee has had the budget out for many weeks now, so you've all had a chance to look at it ahead of time to see if you have any issues on anything. So please don't hold things nilly-willy, because that'll just take us a lot of time. After we get through the budget, there will then be a quick presentation by the Finance Committee to talk about the financial situation of the town, especially with respect to the override questions that will be coming up after that. After they're done with their presentation, we will then have a motion for the school override question. After that presentation is made, we will then have question and answer from that. We will then have a vote on that. And after that's done, we will then move to the Department of Public Works override question. Again, presentation on that, we'll vote on that, and then we'll move on to the rest of the meeting. Just as a point of information, a school override question requires only a majority vote, since it is, I guess the technical word is a permanent override to the tax base. So therefore, it only requires a majority vote, and then obviously a vote at the election, same things that happen in the amendment for the school issue. For the DPW, because that is a debt exclusion override question, that requires by law a 2/3 majority vote. After that is done, we will then move on to the next things, and then obviously there's a vote at the election for that as well. At the election, it only requires a majority vote. And if I'm wrong on any of those things, somebody please let me know, okay? So that's how that process works. And so in terms of wanting to speak, it's real simple. After the presentations are done, we open it up to Q&A. The microphone is right here in front of me. When you get to the microphone, please, for the first time that you speak, state your name and address, say what you need to say relating to the motion at hand, and then please step back from the microphone. We will then have someone answer that question to the best of their ability, and we continue with that process all the way through. One very important thing that needs to be said is, as you can imagine, the only way we get things done is if only one person speaks at a time. So we have one microphone for the public to speak from. Others who speak quite a bit have their own microphones. It's important when you're done speaking to step back from the microphone. Those of you that have handheld microphones, when you're done speaking, please place the microphone down. The reason for that is so that we don't have this back and forth debate between two people. For many years, we've done a great job at that. Last few times, it's gotten a little out of hand. It's my job to deal with that, and I'm dealing with it. So when you're done speaking, step back, and put the microphone down, and wait till I recognize you. Thank you. Let's see. I don't think I forgot anything else. So, unless there's anything, oh, yes. For those of you who are new to the fact that you all have little clickers now to vote. So, it's really simple. There's a yes and there's a no. After we're done talking about something, we're ready to vote. If you want to do it, you press yes. If you don't want to do it, you press no. The way the process works is I will use the phrase open voting. Once I say that, Susan down here, this nice lady, is going to press a button on her computer. Once she presses the button and it's in the system, then you can vote. You'll have 10 to 15 seconds or so to vote. So wait a second or two after I say open voting to give her a chance to press the button, okay? If you change your mind, just press the other button. But the last button you press is your final vote, okay? Once you vote, you have to vote. You can't clear the vote. That's how these things work. Don't shoot the messenger, that's how they work. So the last thing you press is your vote. Everybody clear on that? Good. Okay. Other than that, I believe we are ready with the consent calendar. Board, anything else that needs to be brought up or not? Oh, a test question. Okay. Here's the test question. I want everybody to press the yes button. Just press yes, please. Open voting. Okay. We got 17 troublemakers out there, don't we? Well, make that 23. Yes. Non-voters? Well, non-voters don't have a clicker. Oh, you mean I have to allow them to come to the meeting? Thank you. Yes, I forgot to do that. Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. So, we have 451 voters here. And of those 451 voters, 424 follow directions. 27 do not follow directions. Okay? All kidding aside, those of you who voted no, please vote yes to make sure that everything works. Oh, one more. Come on, guys. We've got to get through this. They should be voting now. They can change it, right? Folks, really, I mean, are there really 23 people out there pressing no still? All right, let's clear it. Clear the voting, please. Frozen? No, I don't want to go to the consent calendar. I want to ask one more question. Are you done? But there's still numbers up there. Clear the numbers, please. Thank you. Okay, we'll try the opposite thing. Everyone press no, please. Open voting.
Are we doing this again?
Oh, thank you. I didn't know there was a question up there. No one told me that. Okay, we'll get through this. So this your first time meeting? Oh, about 15 of you said yes, and the other time it was about 15 that said no. Thank you very much. Okay. This is how it works, folks. I'm sure everyone's clicker is working correctly, okay? So, that being said, we're all set. Yes? Excellent, thank you very much. Okay, good. So, it's possible the folks, those poor folks in the gymnasium, we might not be getting their votes. So, this is what we'll do. I will read a list of all the people who are visitors. We can take care of that right now. This is a long list, folks, but that's okay. So, I'm going to read everybody who's a visitor here. And if I mispronounce your name, I'm sorry. Kathy Kessling and John Dennis from Crackett Road. Land Trust folks, Lisa Moskazinski, Elizabeth Sharon, student, Felix Shepis, student, Katie Dutton, teacher, Erica Flume, thank you, teacher, Danielle DeVito, teacher, Lauren Rito, Lucas, okay, Angelus, I'm sorry, Cinevaz, Beth, Xavier, Matthew, Summer, Charlotte, Kim, Abigail, Chris, Robert, Tanya, Kristen Rubin, town manager. By the way, we have a new town manager, Kristen Rubin. She just spoke a minute ago. Dennis Westgate, DPW. Susan Brower, town manager assistant. Kenny Costa. Jessica Gomez. Mike Antonellis, town planner. Tanya Paparazzo. Caitlin San Clemente. Matthew Baxter. Paul Marchand. Chris Karen. Nick Polnari, police chief. Maureen Cohen. Jay Byron. Anthony Steele. Matthew Connors, Jay Talman, Town Council, J.P. Harness, DPW, Steve Kirby, DPW, Cheryl Kirkpatrick, Assistant Superintendent, somebody from Westover and something for the DPW, Lauren LaJoy, Hannah Fitzpatrick, teacher. So, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way with a voice vote. So, can I have a motion to accept all these non-residents as visitors? Second. Any discussion? No. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. The visitors are here. So how are we doing with the gymnasium? Just a minute or so? So while they're doing that, I'm trying to think if there was anything I might have missed, but I'm not sure. So. Just keep in mind, we have a lot of folks here, and we have another room, so it's going to take us a few more minutes to set things up. Yes? Just to quickly explain what's going on here, the technology in the gymnasium isn't working at the moment, but they did check it this afternoon, and it worked this afternoon, and it worked over here. So it's not that people didn't do their job ahead of time, they did. Maybe it has to do with the total number of people we have, we do not know. They're working on that right now, so thank you, give us a few more minutes and then we will check it out. Okay, close voting please. You're all set. These guys need to do some more things. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to Plan B. Please listen, this is what Plan B is. We're going to take the voters who are in the gymnasium, have them come in here for the first 3 big votes that we have. Now, it's possible after those 3 big votes that everyone stays, and if you do, that's fine. The reality is that may not be the case. So therefore, we will allow for this evening people to stand on the sides. We've talked to the fire chief, the police chief. They say it's fine because even with all the voters here standing in the aisles, we are still under the maximum capacity for safety for people being in this room. So that's what we're going to do. And thank you for your patience. Everyone's in here. Okay? So could you make sure everyone's in? I just want to ask, is everybody who is a registered voter in the room? Okay? Back there? For the moment, we're going to shut the outside doors just so that we can make sure we can get the meeting started with all the registered voters in here. After we get things started, we will then open the doors, because by the laws of having town meetings, you must have the doors open. I'm not going to change that. Oh, boy. You know, she's a new town manager, and she's giving me heck. I don't know. So, oh, boy. Oh, boy. Thank you. We will. Okay, we're going to try this again, everybody. I've got my clicker, so. Is this your first town meeting? Open voting. This isn't working.
Time for mutiny. We're all tired of bedside.
Okay, folks, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. I would now like to ask that the back doors be open to help with circulation and to help with the legality of everything. Thank you very much. The last time I remember when we were doing something, after we did the Pledge of Allegiance, we accepted visitors, now we're ready for the consent calendar, is that right?
That is correct.
Very good. Madam Chair.
Consent calendar. I move the town vote by unanimous consent the following articles that have not been requested held. Those consent calendar articles being 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 19A, 19B, 19C, 21, and 27.
Sorry, go ahead.
Article funding sources is printed in the warrant.
Hang on. Go ahead.
I'm not done reading
I'm
yet.
sorry, I know that. Go ahead.
Okay. Article 7, Water Enterprise Fund for FY 2027. Article 8, Wastewater Enterprise Fund for FY 2027. Article 10, PEG Access and Cable Related Fund for FY 2027. Article 13, Free Cash. Article 19A, Community Preservation Fund, FY 2026, Undesignated Fund Balance. Article 19B, Community Preservation Fund, FY 2026, Estimated Annual Revenues. Article 19C, Community Preservation Undesignated Fund Balance. Article 21, Free Cash. Article 27, Raise and Appropriate.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, just to clarify a couple of things, the other articles that are on that are the town reports and the revolving funds, which is Article 9. So, they've all been read. Is there anybody that wants to hold any of them? Seeing none,
Favorable action, Mr. Moderator.
favorable action. Thank you, Mr. Flaherty. Yep, very good. So, all those in favor of voting these from the consent calendar signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. We haven't had a unanimous vote in about 2 or 3 years. I wonder why. Okay. So, Article 2. No, 1 was on the consent calendar. So that's all done. Okay? So all the things we just voted on the consent calendar, we will not be talking about them again. So, Article 2.
Article 2, I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $9,186.78 to pay unpaid bills from prior fiscal years as listed below. Legal services, KP Law, $9,088.90. Select board expenses, Alpha Graphics, $56.81. And Selectmen Board expense, Alpha Graphics, $41.07.
Second,
Second.
FinCom recommendation,
Favorable, Mr. Moderator.
favorable action. Just as a point of information, because it's dealing with paying previous year's bills, it requires a 4/5 majority. That's 80% of you here, okay? So just keep that in mind when you're voting. Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, Article 3 is the budget. Mr. Fleming.
Mr. Moderator, Paul Flaherty, 29 Taffy. Can everybody hear me, or do I need to use this?
Please use the microphone, Mr. Flaherty.
Mr. Moderator, I move the town vote to fix the salaries and compensation of all officers of the town as provided in Mass General Laws, Chapter 41, Section 108 as amended, and to raise and appropriate the sum of $31,578,896 to defray the expenses of the town departments for the ensuing year as set forth in items identified as total budget to be voted within the document entitled Finance Committee Report, Town of Upton, Massachusetts, Fiscal Year 2027 Budget Recommendations, and not requested hold and as amended if applicable by vote of the town meeting for those items requested hold. Second.
Is the second, moved and seconded. So, what's going to happen now is, for those of you who have a Finance Committee budget recommended report with you, we are going to read through this. Open up, please, to page 7. Thank you. Looks something like this here, for those of you who can see this. And again, if you haven't gone through this process, just please be patient, we'll get through this. This is how we do it every year. We look at the budget, and we go department by department. If somebody wants to hold something, raise your hand, you say, Mr. Moderator, You stand, I'll ask your name, say which one you want to have held, and I'll make note of that. On mine, town clerk keeps track of that. So you see 4 columns. First one is fiscal year 25 budgeted. Second column is fiscal year 26 budgeted. The third column, fiscal year 27 recommended. That's the number you need to look at as you're going down the list. On the right is the percent change up or down. Okay? That's how the process works. We move through this relatively quickly because we go department by department. So, everyone all set? FinCom, you all set? Okay, very good. So, town meetings, number 113. 114, town moderator. 122, select board. 123, town manager. 131, FinCom. 132, reserve fund. 133, finance department. 137, capital budget committee. 151, legal department. 152, human resources. Yes, human resources? Could you state the last 4 digits of what you want to hold? 5110, human resources wages. The number I think is 115 something, correct? I'm sorry. 40,000. 40,000? That one? Okay, that's been held. You got that, Denise? Okay, thank you. After that, tax title foreclosure, 158. 159, management information systems. 161, clerk. 163, registration. 171, conservation committee. 292, animal control. Oops, hang on. Oh, I skipped 2 pages, sorry about that. I'm sure you all said, oh, great. 175, planning board. 184, housing authority. 192, town public buildings. 210, police. 220, fire EMS. 241, land use and inspectional services. 291, emergency management. 292, animal control. 294, DPW parks, forestry, and cemetery. 300, education. 421, DPW. 422, DPW highway construction maintenance. 423, snow, ice removal, DPW. 433, waste removal. 491, cemetery. 510, Board of Health. 522, health services. 541, elder and social services, council on aging. 543, veterans. 610, library. 630, beach. 691, historical commission. 710, retirement of debt. 725, debt service, interest. 820, state assessments. 910, retirement. 911, thank you, retirement. 913, unemployment compensation. 916, payroll taxes, Medicare. 945, liability insurance. 950, trust fund committee. And 990, transfers out. So if you look at transfers out, the very bottom number, finance committee says 31 million, etc. What you're voting on is that number minus that, I think it's $40,000 that was held. That's what you're voting on right now by unanimous consent. All right? Everyone else set with that? This might sound like an old-fashioned process. I think of this as checks and balances to make sure that everything's going the right way as it should. So, for all of those who are in favor, by unanimous consent, everything that was not held, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. So, back to the one that was held. That was 152, human resources, Personnel wages, 40,000, is that correct?
David Brooks, 3 Canterbury Circle, and just for clarification, the 40,000 is identified in the explainer as contingency, but there was no need for contingency last year and it was only 10,000 the year before. What's the logic behind, what's the contingency for and why is it larger?
Okay, FinCom?
Yeah, I can answer that, sorry. Steve Byrd, 2 Victoria Drive. I don't know why that says 10,000, it was actually 30,000. We had that for the CBAs, and we had a couple of employment agreements, so at that time, the town manager put this in place. This 40,000 was something that the finance committee did, so when the town manager put together the recommendation between adjustments for all 3 schools, we had about $43,000. So knowing that we have an expiring employee contract, a terminating contract, and other restructuring that the new town manager may be doing, we thought it was appropriate to give her the option of having that wage contingency. That's where it came from.
Okay, thank you very much. And that's why we go through this process. Very good. So I need a motion. Mr. Fleming.
Mr. Moderator, I move we raise and appropriate the sum of $40,000 for the purposes of account number 101515251005110.
Second? Seconded, FinCom. Recommendation is there. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no? No. Motion carries by a majority. Okay, so we're done with the budget. All righty. That's good. Now we are on to Article 4, which is the school override question. Do I have a motion for Article 4? Oh, that's right, I'm sorry. You know what? Before that, I forgot, the FinCom did mention about making a quick presentation. Thank you. Go ahead.
So we wanted to just let everyone know what these next couple of articles are going to actually affect the taxpayers on your property tax. So when you look at this chart, we're just trying to estimate the impact. There is no way for us to estimate what happens next year between the tax levy and assessed values of your houses. That's how you get your tax rate, that's how you get your tax bill. So what this chart is doing, if you look at FY26, you just look at that line, the town valuation is roughly $2 billion, $2,024,526,035. Last year's FY26 tax levy was $26,480,801. That turns into a tax rate of $13.08. The only way to really show this for everybody is to get an average assessment. We went with $750. If you look at the Finance Committee book it all, in the first page of the recommendation, there's a simplified version where we estimate different values. It's not the exact numbers. These are the exact numbers based on FY26 numbers. So last year, the same town meeting that we're at right now, we voted in favor of a Mendon Upton Regional School District debt exclusion for facilities and fields. That impact is estimated to be at a $750,000 property, $150.84 for the year. That is going to happen on your tax bill next year. The 2 items that we have now, Article 4 is the proposed Mendon Upton Regional School District override in the amount of $2,457,651. That's Article 4. Article 5 is the DPW facility for $1,167,498. Everyone following those 2? So the Mendon Upton override is estimated to cost you $910 if you had a $750,000 house. That's annual. The DPW facility, if that gets approved, the estimated amount in that 1.1 million will cost $432.51. All of them together, again, no changes for FY27 on the items we just voted in. Based on FY26, everything would cost $1,493.80 on a $750,000 house. So that is the impact to everyone here if these items are passed. We'll go through all these things more. You'll probably get these questions answered. Or the override is permanent. Will be in the tax levy forever unless we do an underride. The debt exclusion for the DPW facility is for a term of 20 years. We'll pay for that for 20 years, then it'll fall off. Same way we paid for this school, same way we're paying for the community center. difference between the two is the exact reason why the moderator said we were going to have different votes required. Any questions?
Okay, thank you very much. So, that's a quick overview, but if you have a quick question. The red light's flashing, hold on. How's that? Still not, no, forget it. I'm not gonna wait 10 or 15 minutes to figure this one out. How's that? Good, go ahead, sir. Name and address.
Jim, 221 North Street. The FY26, the estimated property tax, is that considering Prop 2.5 or without?
What your tax rate is right now. So it's not considering anything to do with FY27.
Use the microphone, please. Mr. Byrne, please use the microphone.
Sorry. Your FY27 number would be very difficult to do because we'd have to increase the levy and then all of a sudden know what the new assessed value is. So there is not, you can't just say it's going to go up 2.5%. That's not an accurate way to do it because your levy could go up, but then your assessed values would go up, so your tax rate could actually go down. Your tax bill is what we're trying to assess here.
Sure, but
Sir, anything else?
but you have the fluctuation to go up 2.5% without an override or anything.
Correct.
So
Your levy could change, correct, but we're showing it based on FY26, which is the impact to what your bill could be.
Okay, anything else?
without the 2.5.
Correct.
All right.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Flaherty?
Just to be clear, the tax rate is a function of what you raise and appropriate versus the total assessed value of the town. I understand, my good friend Mr. Fleming is shaking his head, but it is difficult to understand, okay? The value of the town changes every year. The amount you raise and appropriate changes every year. And there are other factors that go into it. This is a mathematical process that takes quite a while to accomplish. Would you agree with Mr. Finance Director?
Correct.
So, any number you see here tonight is an estimate, okay? We can't tell you exact numbers. You won't know the exact number until the assessors submit what they call the recap sheet to the Department of Revenue, and the Department of Revenue approves the tax rate. This is not a simple process that we can just explain to you by adding 1 and 1 and get 2. It doesn't work that way.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Flaherty. Okay, so I think we're ready for the presentation by the school system. Is that correct? No other questions? Good. We have a motion made. Superintendent and Mr. Bauer. Oh, yeah. We have to have a motion. Thank you.
Yes. I move the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $2,457,651 for the purpose of funding a portion of the town's assessment for the Mendon Upton Regional School District for the fiscal year beginning on July 1st, 2026, provided that such appropriation shall be expressly contingent upon the passage of Proposition 2.5 override ballot question permitting the town to raise the additional amount of $2,457,651 outside of the limits imposed by said Proposition 2.5, in accordance with Chapter 59, Section 21C of the Massachusetts General Law.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation.
Favorable action, majority decision.
Majority, favorable action. Very good. So, the school committee has a presentation to make. They have a maximum time of 20 minutes to make their presentation. And just so you know, what I'll do is, if you're at about 15, I'll give you this. It means you have 5 minutes left. Then if you're at 19, I'll do this. Okay? Great. Thank you very much. Okay, go on.
Hi everyone, I'm Maureen Cohen. I am the proud superintendent of the Mendon Upton Regional School District. Here with me, we have Jay Ryan, who is our Director of Finance and Operations. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight, and since we've been standing for a while, some of you, I'm going to try to go as fast as I can through the slides. All right, I just have to know how to use a clicker. All right, so we're going to begin with the fact that we're here at a critical juncture, and there's a choice that's going to be made tonight and also hopefully at the ballot as well. 4 things I'm going to point out. I'm going to talk a little bit quickly about how we're an amazing school district. I'm going to talk about what's at risk. I'm going to talk about the perfect storm and why we're here with an override request. And also, please, think about the choices that you're going to be making in this process. The Mendon Upton Regional School District is an exceptional district. We have a comprehensive strategic plan. We lead to positive outcomes for students and ongoing external recognition. I talk about it all the time, but our strategic plan, all of our decisions is grounded in our strategic plan. You have our main priorities up here, and ranging from our focus on deeper learning, equity for all students and inclusion, partnering with our communities and getting community support, and focusing on high-quality curriculum and instruction to lead to outstanding student performance. Those are our priorities. We are now in our 3rd year of our 5-year strategic plan that was developed with a committee of stakeholders throughout this community. Our mission is to empower all learners to thrive, and we really believe this. This is what we're all about. From a strong start in literacy to the deeper learning experiences and partnerships that we are building in our communities. We've been recognized for excellence. Hopefully you've seen it in the newspapers, and we've been asked this past year in particular to be interviewed in radio shows. We've been featured in magazines. We've been on TV. We have the Massachusetts Athletic Director of the Year, and we also have our Elementary Principal of the Year from Massachusetts as some of the recognition. We have outstanding recognition in the fact that we get asked to present everywhere, all the time, about all of the good activities and programs that we offer here. We have proven results for our students. I could go on and on, but we're not going to do that tonight, but I want to give you a couple highlights. One is our writing and focus on high-quality curriculum. PD teachers and instructional coach a few years ago has led to growth in grade 5 writing in 10% very quickly. We also were just recognized this year as one of the few districts that went back to pre-pandemic rates for math achievement, and that's because of the focus that we've had and investments that all of you have made in our schools. Chronic absenteeism. You may not be aware, but nationally, after COVID, this has been a huge issue and also an issue we've been trying to tackle at Massachusetts. And as a result, with our investments in counseling, data systems, return to school supports, we've been able to reduce it by 47%. You can't learn if you're not in school, and we're really proud of that work. And finally, for advanced placement courses, majority of our students participate in advanced placement courses here. We have a wide array, and we were just recognized as gold status. Our college credit percentage exceeded the gold criteria with platinum, and half of our students earned AP Scholar recognition. Our district provides a competitive advantage and opens doors for our students. I have to show you this picture because this encapsulates all of the incredible opportunities that we have through clubs, extracurriculars, and in the classroom. And right now, all of this is at risk if we do not receive the funding. $4.1 million in cuts would dismantle our school district and how our entire experience for our students. It would take years to recover, and I would argue it would take a decade to recover. The high cost of an override failure would be dismantling the 15 years of progress. I say 15 years because the last time we had major cuts in our district was about 15 years ago. We're on our 3rd strategic plan of 5-year plans where we have built back our district to an exceptional state. On last Friday, I had to give out notices with our staff to more than 96 staff people who could be impacted and 84 positions that would be eliminated. That would be a 23% reduction. This is a snapshot of the impact. We would have all areas of our system be affected if we needed to make these cuts. From our school resource officers and safety, to our counselors that provide mental health supports, to our very important teachers, and that's what it's all about. We have a giant team here, and we're lean, but we're strong, and we need to maintain this. This is an overview of a reduction scenario and the negative impact on the entire school system. Ultimately, the student experience would be different. It would go from excellent class sizes to large class sizes, fewer electives, reduced AP options, and reduction in clubs and extracurriculars. With the class sizes being so large, it would be less individualized instruction, less supports, and that learning gaps would increase. Student care, we'd have slower response times and delayed communications as a result of having less office staff, less nursing staff, less behavior support. We would have elimination of the library across the whole district and reduction in athletics at the middle school and reductions in Spanish immersion opportunities. How does this affect the community? It becomes a less desirable district. Right now, we have people knocking on our doors to come into our district. We have 174 students that come in for school choice and only 38 who leave our district. So we have money coming in, and we limit that, but we would have a turnaround where we'd have money going out because people would be leaving the towns. And we know all of you moved here, for those of you who moved here for the school district. With a reduced competitive edge, our home values for you would also decrease. This is not a Mendon Upton challenge alone. It's a state funding issue. All you have to do is look in the news to see that that's so. It's also further impacted by some reduced federal funding, as well as limitations on local revenue. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to Jay, who's going to talk a little bit about the numbers.
All right, my name is Jay Byer, 2 Barrows Road in Mendon. So the question is, why is this happening? The main answer is growth. The cost of running municipalities, school districts is increasing at a faster rate than 2.5%, which is what the local communities are limited to as far as tax revenue. Our costs are going up, and the revenue is not keeping pace with that. Let me go backwards. Some of the major things that are hitting our budget this year. Health insurance is the #1 driver. It's about $1.7 million just in an increase in health insurance premiums. We have contractual obligations. We have mandated special ed services that we have to provide. And we've got other things going up, utilities, transportation, all the other things, Worcester retirement. All of this amounts to $4.7 million of a $5.1 million increase. These 4 categories take up all of that money. As far as health insurance, it's a national issue. It's not just a local issue. It's not a state issue. This is going on all throughout the country. We've got a fairly substantial premium increase for ourselves. I think many districts are seeing the same thing. Special education costs continue to grow at a pace that is nowhere near the rate of revenue coming in. We do get reimbursement for some of those costs, but that's not keeping pace with the cost of the tuitions. Communities are being forced to make choices between whether they're going to make cuts to programs or increase funding, which is why we're here tonight. We're not alone. It's a statewide issue. You can see these are all communities that have overrides that are pending. The 3 at the top have passed overrides in the last few months. The ones on the bottom are surrounding neighbors that all have overrides on their ballots coming up this spring as well. Northbridge and Ashland both successfully got through town meeting, still have ballot votes to go. There's been over 51 communities, at least, that are having overrides this year. You can keep going. Just click me through. State aid. Everybody says, well, we should get more from the state, and I couldn't agree 100%, but we are not going to get more from the state. Our increase for next year from the state is $185,000. So put that against a $1.7 million health insurance increase, and you can see it's not there. Over the last 11 years, we've grown at a rate of less than 1% a year. As far as the local revenue, the towns are limited as well. They can't just come out and get money without getting voter approval for that, which is why we're here tonight. Over the last 11 years, Upton has grown at a rate of about 2.6% in their contribution to the regional school district. Mendon's been a little bit less than that. Mendon has less students than Upton has. But this doesn't work when Prop 2.5 says you can only raise so much money. This is where we've kind of lived within for the last 11 years, but we've gotten to a point where that no longer is going to make it for the school district. As far as our budget history, over the last 11 years, we've grown at a rate of a little over 2.5%, 2.59%, which is still living within the 2.5% revenue growth because, as the previous speaker said, we're estimating what revenue is going to be for next year, and it does go up a little bit. But we haven't submitted a budget that required an override since 2015. We've been bridging the gaps all these years by making reductions in our staff, reallocating staff to different buildings. We go after every grant that's out there. We do everything we can to use the reserves that we have. I wasn't supposed to wait till that slide to talk about that. I try. As far as reductions in the last years, we have reduced 10 positions and reallocated 11. This current year, we're looking at around $900,000 in grant money, but it's been as much as $1.5 million a year, and if you went through the last 11 years, it's probably several $1 million in grants. We've also tapped into our reserves to avoid coming to the towns to ask for additional money, but we've gotten to a point where our reserves are down to a low enough point that we no longer are comfortable continuing to tap into them. One of the questions that you hear a lot is, well, you did a capital project last year, that was a debt exclusion, now we've got an operating override, the town's going to be facing a debt exclusion after this for the DPW. They are two separate purposes. The debt exclusion can only be used for the purpose it was voted for. You can't use that money for anything else. An operating override has to be used for its intended purpose for year one, but it's an increase in revenue to the towns. It covers operational expenses. They're two separate entities, and you can't really mix the two. I'm done. Thank you.
I'm going to bring it home. So it's a shared choice for both of our towns. State and federal support are not going to save us. The future of schools rests entirely within the local choice. There are two choices ahead. Path A, continued improvement, protecting our students, preserving the value of our community, keeping our incredible staff, and really continuing to excel. Path B would be a swift erosion of the progress and excellence we've built together over the last decade. We want to thank you for your time, your past support, your future support, and your ongoing commitment to your community and our school district collectively, so thank you.
Thank you very much. So, are there any questions from the audience? Okay, if there are no questions, then we will have a vote. Remember, this requires a majority vote. So, all those in favor of the motion derived from Article 4 with respect to the Proposition 2.5 override, signify by saying aye. Aye! Opposed, no? No! The motion carries by a majority. For those of you who don't know, I always allow polite applause, but then that's it. Thank you. Okay, good. Article 5. I don't think I got the motion card from the person who made the motion for this last one. Whoever has the motion card, if they could please bring it up. Got it. Thank you. Thanks. You have to keep track of these things. Thank you, Denise. Mr. Flaherty.
Mr. Moderator, Paul Carter, 29 Taft Street, and I rise as chairman of the DPW Building Committee. I move the town vote to borrow the sum of $17 million to be used for the expansion and renovation of the Department of Public Works facility, including all expenses incidental and related thereto, provided that any borrowing be approved hereunder shall be contingent upon the town's passage of a debt exclusion ballot question under so-called Proposition 2.5.
There's moved and seconded. Finance Committee recommendation?
Favorable action.
Thank you. I believe there is a presentation to be made. And again, like the last group, you have 20 minutes for the presentation.
opened in 1995 with an anticipated life expectancy of 30 years. Over the past 10 and a half years, more than one effort has been made to improve that facility. In 2018, there was a feasibility study done, which almost got it to the finish line. They had a budget of $12,500 to come up with a plan. However, in 2021, the powers that be decided that the community center had a higher priority than the DPW facility. At that point, work on the project was stopped. In 2024, the committee was resurrected, and in the fall, in last November, we came to the town, which voted 111 to 40 to appropriate $2,502,794 to bring this project to the bid document stage. This is after, and as an aside, the first pass that the most recent building committee had, the building came in somewhere in the neighborhood of $33 million. Seeing that, it was felt that that was not a reasonable number to ask the town to come up with. And accordingly, 10,000 square feet was reduced from the project, bringing it to in the neighborhood of $17 million. Now, I don't know if people still know, or they look at what a thesaurus is, but there's a difference, and I say this from the standpoint of there is a need and there's a want. And generally a want refers to unessential things that we would like to have, while a need usually refers to things that we must have. In the next few minutes, the speakers and the slides you will see will demonstrate, hopefully, that you will see the expansion of this facility is truly a need.
I'm Dennis Westgate, Director of Public Works for the Upton Department of Public Works, and I'm here to talk to you today about the expansion renovation project for the current DPW facility. The town will consider at the annual town meeting on Thursday, May 7th, funding for the construction phase of the project. The DPW Building Committee presented an overview of this project at the fall town meeting on November 4th, 2025. At that meeting, the town voted to approve initial funding in the amount of $2.5 million for a detailed design and development document. At the annual town meeting, the DPW Building Committee will be requesting funding for the renovation and expansion of the 30-year-old facility. If the town approves the article at the annual town meeting, there will be a ballot vote scheduled for the annual town election on Tuesday, May 12th. The DPW touches all of the infrastructure in the town. We have 19 full-time employees that are involved in maintaining 80 miles of road, maintaining town-owned facilities, snow and ice removal operations, maintaining a fleet of 24 vehicles, repairing and maintaining water and sewer mains, drinking water treatment and distribution, wastewater collection and treatment, maintaining buildings, culverts, bridges and dams, emergency response management, flood prevention, trimming trees and roadside brush, park, cemetery, and forestry maintenance, hurricane windstorm cleanup, removal of roadway hazards, support of police, fire, and EMS departments. Renovating and expanding the existing facility is needed because the current facility, built in 1995, is past its expected life of 30 years. During the past 30 years, the population has increased 57%. The number of water users, 45%. The number of sewer users, 62%. And our roadway miles have increased 31%. The current facility was built primarily as a garage, and in 1995, it could house all of the DPW vehicles. Today, the DPW fleet consists of 24 vehicles, and only 10 of them can be kept indoor in a heated, lighted space. The importance of keeping plows in a heated space was clearly illustrated during the recent blizzard. Plows that are kept outside require time to warm up before they can be used. This delays the town's response in keeping the roads cleared. Keeping the roads clear during the most recent blizzard was essential for allowing first responders to get to the residents who need help. Today, the DPW facility is much more than a garage to store equipment. The DPW now has a full-time equipment mechanic to service and maintain the fleet of 24 vehicles. As a result, the facility does not provide for the storage and draining of toxic fluids, thus creating a safety hazard for employees and compliance issues for the town. As a result, the site is not compliant with several DEP and EPA regulations, and the town could be fined for these violations. The facility does not have adequate ventilation for exhaust fumes when vehicles are being maintained inside. This issue directly impacts employees' health and safety. The current facility lacks an indoor wash bay and lacks adequate storage for many pieces of equipment, which means they are stored outside. Storing expensive equipment outside reduces their life expectancy. The DPW director's office is located in a rented trailer. In the winter, the temperature rarely gets above 55 degrees, and in the summer is frequently over 80. The current facility has only one small bathroom, no locker rooms for staff to change, and a small kitchen area that doubles as a break room and training area. The proposed renovation expansion project has been scaled down to keep the costs as low as possible. The existing building will be renovated and upgraded to meet current state building codes and provide a safe working environment for town employees. A new vehicle maintenance and wash bay will be built that meet the DEP regulations, and a new ADA compliant administrative office area will be added that will provide an appropriate space for the staff, including a men's and women's locker room, bathroom, and a meeting room and break room. The plan is to renovate the existing facility and a new vehicle maintenance area that meets state and federal requirements, along with a new vehicle wash bay, which is required by the state DEP regulations. This expansion will allow the DPW to continue maintaining and servicing our vehicle fleet in a compliant and safe environment for our staff, while also complying with state DEP regulations for runoff, collection of toxic fluids, and ventilation. Unlike the original building, which was basically just a big garage, this project will be creating a facility that can wash salt off snow removal equipment and collect the runoff before it can get into the groundwater. It can allow the safe and efficient maintenance of our equipment. By storing equipment indoors, any potential fluid leaks would be safely and responsibly contained and managed rather than creating a possible environmental contamination event because equipment is currently stored outdoors. The project also brings the facility into ADA compliance, including both a men's and women's locker room, adds restrooms, a meeting room, and a staff break room. We desperately need to upgrade and expand the existing facility to enable the DPW to meet the needs of the town now and for many years to come. We understand that we are asking for a significant amount of money. You can be assured that the DPW Building Committee, working with our owner's project manager and the architects, have presented a cost-effective project that will meet the basic needs of the DPW for several decades to come. So how much will this project cost? The expected total cost is between $17.5 million and $19.5 million. Based on a 25-year, 3.75 level interest bond and borrowing an estimated $18.5 million, The town finance director estimates tax increase of property assessed at $750,000 would be roughly $116 per quarter. While the DPW committee acknowledges this is a significant request, we all know that if we continue to delay doing the project now, it will cost considerably more in the future. This project isn't just for housing equipment. It's to make our site more environmentally sound, and it's to make sure that the employees who work here have a safe working environment and that we're providing the best service that we can for the town of Upton.
It's an important measure for a very important department, and we believe in the long run it's money well spent. That is why we are asking you to approve the DPW article on Thursday, May 7th, and then to approve the ballot question on Tuesday, May 12th. Thank you so much for watching.
Westgate?
Thank you. Chris, could I have the slideshow up? I'll try to be brief. Thank you all.
You have about 10 minutes.
Oof, I'll be really brief. So as a recap, we're talking about a facility that will house approximately $4 million worth of rolling stock. We went through all of the increases that we've had to road miles, the increase in the water and sewer uses, the difference between the population from 1995 when the building opened to today. Back in 2019 in May, it was a Saturday, the feasibility committee was organized by the select board. This committee focused on finding the right path forward for the DPW. That committee worked diligently for an entire year putting together information and meeting and ended up giving a proposal and a presentation to the select board and a recommendation. Based on that recommendation, the select board appointed the current building committee that you have today. This was the original outcome that was talked about by Mr. Flaherty of the first round of the building committee. This was taking a look at the needs and the function of the DPW. This was a 30,500 square foot building and approximately a $33 million cost. Realizing the amount of money that equated to, the committee worked diligently to reduce that, and the reduction came in the way of 10,000 square feet off of the building. The workshops were eliminated, and the salt shed was not increased in size. This realized a significant savings, bringing the ask down to a total of $19.5 million, or $17 million tonight. This shows where we are now. We're looking at a DPW renovation and expansion that meets the core needs of the DPW department. This is a pretty good rendering of what you'll be looking at. The gray building the brown building is existing, and the blue roof would be your additions, including the wash bay. This is a simple pre-engineered building design. Inside, you have staffing accommodations for a lunchroom, offices, utilities, locker rooms, and a training room. Vehicle maintenance bay, there's two of them. One of them would be equipped with a lift that will lift the 10-wheelers. We currently don't have that right now. We can't lift anything bigger than a 1-ton pickup truck. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Brackington, since I'm running out of time. Sorry, Steve, went as fast as I could.
About 6 minutes, Mr. Rackett.
Yeah, all right, so where we are today, today we decide if we're going to actually approve the construction funds for this project, and if we do that today, then we have to vote again on May 12th on Election Day. During the summer, we would post bids and get qualified bidders. Construction would start in October, and the project would be done in next year. So the ask tonight is for $17 million. That's what we're looking to get approval for, which would cover the construction costs of the building. And the tax impact, we've already gone through this, roughly $465 a year on a house assessed at $750,000. And again, the bottom line here is we're doing this to help protect the health and safety of our employees, to bring the current facility into compliance with current regulations, to make it ADA compliant, and to protect the significant investment that we have in vehicles by allowing all 24 of them to be stored indoors. Our DPW employees deserve to have a safe and compliant work environment, just like our police officers and our firefighters. They deserve to have a locker room where they can change out of their grimy work clothes. They deserve clean air to breathe while they're working and have a safe place in which to work. The fleet of 24 trucks should be stored inside during the winter so that they will last longer. The town has grown significantly in the past 30 years, and it's time that we finally renovate and expand this facility to keep up with the demands of the current town. During the recent blizzard that we had in February, the DPW staff took care of the town and its residents. They spent 3 days plowing roads, sidewalks, and parking lots so that our first responders would be able to get to any resident who needed them. Now it's our turn to take care of our DPW staff by giving them a safe environment in which to work. Thank you, and I hope you will consider supporting this part.
Okay, are there any questions on the motion? So just come to the microphone, please. Please state your name and address, and then we'll do the best we can to answer your question.
Ludlow, 27 Hartford. Initially, you said that practically $17 million will be used for this building. $17 million will be used for this building. Bids have yet to be sent out. How can we make sure it will stay within the 17 mil?
Okay, how do we keep within the 17 million? Is there someone who can deal with that from a financial perspective? So anybody want, Mr. Flaherty?
It's very simple, Mr. Moderator. The appropriation is there. You can't spend more than the appropriation.
Well, okay, yeah, so there's bids, okay, hold on, just so that, so there's a bid process, you choose somebody and...
As far as, are you talking about as far as we get to the bid?
Let's say we give you $17 million, right? We still have to go for a bid. And if someone come back and said, hey, that's too low, we can't do it, what happens then?
Okay, the bid process and you can't find somebody to bid for it, what happens?
If this is a project that we say is in need, okay? The previous appropriation gave us the authority to bring this to bid documents, okay? It would go out to bid again and see where we went with it. We are reasonably certain that it will come in within that number. And Mr. Westgate, and we have our engineers here who have experience in this, and who give us, gives you, Dennis.
Mr. Moderator?
Yes, Mr. Westgate.
So, anytime the town meeting approves up to a certain amount, 17 million in this particular case, that is the cap. We can't spend a penny over it. If we go out to bid and the bids come in at 1701, we can't award the bid. That's how it works. So we have to go back to the drawing board and decide whether or not we're going to make cuts and then come back and do a subsequent bid, or we're going to come back to a subsequent town meeting and ask for more money, which we've already told this group that we would not do. So it's 17 million, and we're pretty comfortable with the estimates because we've had outside estimators work with our consultants and our engineers to confirm from three different consultants that the price is accurate.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Follow-up.
Yes, sir?
Okay, so you feel that the price is pretty confident with 17 mil?
Yes.
With today's prices, everything escalated.
Sorry. Yeah.
With today's prices, everything escalated. And therefore, one would say, hey, $17 million today, not $17 million tomorrow. What are we doing? Either we go all the way or we don't. Okay. Initially, you said that we started with 33 mil for what we really needed, and we scale it back. That was, basically, it asked me a question. What are we doing? The $13 million what we really wanted, or that was over the above and beyond? Was this above and beyond, or just realistic?
Okay, Mr. Westgate?
So the $33 million wasn't above and beyond. The $33 million took into account some items that we're no longer considering. One, it increased the size of our salt shed, which we do need because our salt shed is inadequate for the amount of salt that we use in a regular snowstorm. And by having a salt shed that's inadequate, it means we have to be cognizant and on the ball of making sure we're constantly ordering salt and keeping it full. Otherwise, when we have a winter like we just had, we take a chance on running out of salt. At one point, we were down to 100 ton. To put it in perspective, the salt shed holds 1,000 ton. So we had about enough salt in that shed for an ice storm, and we would have run out. Fortunately, we had loads of salt coming in to replenish it. So it definitely could use a larger salt shed. But we understand that we had to make some cuts. So there are certain things that had to come out of that and still meet the core needs and the ADA compliance and the code compliance associated with the building. So the building meets all of the legal needs and our needs. It's tight. It doesn't consider expansion. If we bring on a couple more vehicles over the next 5 or 10 years, we're going to have to talk about somewhere down the road, the expansion would be in addition to the building. It wouldn't be within the building. And it means that we're going to go back to parking our vehicles in there like sardines, so that if we respond to an emergency at 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, and someone needs a particular piece of equipment, they may have to move 5 or 6 pieces to get that piece. That's just the way it is. It's still incredibly more effective and efficient and safer than what we have now.
Okay, so,
Thank you. You're welcome.
okay. Sure.
To the moderator, John Westerling, 49 Rockwood Lane. I'm a member of the DPW Building Committee. Currently the Commissioner of Public Works for the City of Worcester, but before that I was DPW Director next door in Hopkinton. 8 years ago, we built a bigger facility for only $15 million. The reason I bring that up, the need doesn't go away, but the costs continue to increase. So if we don't build it today, that need doesn't go away, and we're going to need more money in the near future. So what's being proposed here is not a luxury. It's a critical investment in the people, equipment, and operations to keep this community running every single day. Most importantly, the benefits extend well beyond the DPW employees. This is an investment in service delivery for the entire community and in the long-term stewardship of taxpayer resources. I respectfully encourage your support tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir? Perfect example of polite applause. Thank you, folks.
Hi, I'm Greg Schreck from Brook Street in Upton. First off, I appreciate what the DPW does, and I don't want this to be construed the wrong way, but I don't have all the information having not participated in previous meetings, so I think I saw the prioritized list. I think I'd be interested in more information to solve the high priority safety issues, exhausting the fumes, getting rid of the hazardous materials, a better bathroom situation, whatever that looks like, and continue to park the trucks outside, right? I feel like this is a gold-plated solution, and there's probably some middle ground, likely explored during that committee for a year, but myself and probably a lot of people in the room might like to hear more about that, given the other large expense that's facing the taxpayers at the same time. It's unfortunate timing that we have right now, so I think I'd be interested in hearing about a less costly solution to solve the safety issues and keep the trucks outside.
Okay, I don't know if anybody wanted to address that, or Mr. Fleming, I don't know if you could address that or not.
Yes, Robert Fleming, 54 East Street. I was on the original Board of Selectmen when that building was built 30 years ago. It cost the taxpayers $0. The building was paid with the sale of the gravel off the property. So what we're asking for 2 more decades, is $17 million for 50 years of a garage. Because we've worked 30 years and it didn't cost anybody in this room a nickel. So let's vote for it.
McKinney, taxpayer, Upton. We're
What's your
talking,
address, sir? What's your address, sir?
Maple Ave,
Thank you.
49. In this book, we're talking 5 employees, all right, that work out of the highway barn. We're talking 3 personnel, okay? Now, if these employees are out working, the air is bad as it is in the shop. Well, it's common sense. They're not in the building breathing bad air. They're supposed to be out on the road working, okay? And as far as bathroom facilities, I'm quite sure that they don't take a 10-ton truck every time they go down and have to use the toilet facilities. Someplace out there on the road they do. But we're only talking 5 employees, and we're talking $17 million to house 5 employees that's supposed to be out on the road working. I forgot about the 3 office personnel that are in the rented trailer, but it just doesn't make sense.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Andrews?
Bill Andrews, 17 School Street. I'm just seeing if I need to do this or not.
If you wish
I'd like to make a motion that we move the motion.
Move the question.
Move the question.
You have decided to move the question. So for those of you who are not sure what that means, moving the question means you've heard enough discussion and you then want to vote on it. There's no discussion about moving the question. Basically what I'm telling you is the discussion. So if 2/3 of you vote to move the question, we will then go and vote on the question after that. If less than 2/3 of you vote on moving the question, then we will keep talking about it. So do you understand that? If you're done talking about it, you vote yes. If you want to talk more, you vote no. And then after we vote on that, I will then tell you what we do next. So, all those who wish to move the question signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The motion to move the question is unanimous. Now, we are now ready to vote on the question. And I'm assuming that we're still not doing electronics. We're done with that for tonight. But yeah, I just want to make sure, because I see that up there. We're supposed to vote electronically. So, I'm okay with doing this voice, let me tell you, I'm so okay with this, very much so. So, having said that, this does require a 2/3 majority vote. So, I'm going to put my head down, I'm going to listen. If I can make the 2/3 call without any doubt, I will. If I have any doubt, then we will go to a standing count. Don't be afraid of that, we've done it before. But I just want you to know, if I can make the call, I will make the call. All right, so, all those in favor of the debt exclusion for the DPW garage signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. No. The motion carries by a 2/3 majority. We will now take a 5-minute recess, so stay where you are, those of you who are staying, and the rest of you, thank you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, the lock jam has opened up, heading out. And I'll tell you something, Mr. Flaherty, this is your lucky evening. I had to borrow the Finance Committee microphone. Because the batteries are out in this one. So I had to borrow your microphone, Mr. Flaherty. Okay? So, there we go. Everyone's out, we are ready to go. And I know we have a captive audience, so thank you all for staying. I do appreciate that. And all kidding aside, I appreciate everybody else who was here too, because it was very important. So people came, voted their conscience, voted their mind, and that's how it works, and that's the process. So that's a good thing. All right, we are now on, I believe, Article 6. Thank you very much. Good. Hey, this is working now. Thank you. Okay, who has a motion for Article 6? Mr. Flaherty, you're on, sir, without the microphone.
Mr. Moderator, I move the town vote to appropriate and reallocate the sum of $451,387 from Article 11A of the May 8, 2021 annual town meeting to the Department of Public Works Expansion Renovation Project, including all costs incidental and related thereto.
Is there a second?
Second.
Can I ask the officer in the back to ask the folks out there to move along and be quiet, please? Thank you. It's moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation. Favorable action by the FinCom. This does require a 2/3 majority vote? Thank you. Yes, there are some. Thank you very much, Madam Town Clerk. Any discussion? Are you coming here to talk about it or just to sit, ma'am? Okay, thank you. No problem. You're coming right to the right place, you know? Okay, seeing no discussion. This does require a 2/3 majority vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Article 7. No. Consent calendar. Thank you. It is written here. That's consent calendar. Boy, we're moving. 11. Article 11. Who's got Article 11? Mr. Flaherty.
Mr. Moderator, I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $160,000 to the General Stabilization Fund.
Second, moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation.
Favorable action.
Favorable action by the FinCom. Now, some of you might be thinking, this is a 2/3 majority vote. No, the state changed the laws again. Anything that goes into stabilization only requires a majority vote. So that's all it's going to be, a majority vote. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Article, I don't want to say 12, do I? Yes, Article 12.
Mr. Moderator, I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $300,000 to the Capital Stabilization Fund.
Second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation.
Favorable action.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Let's see, 13 was a CC, 14, Article 14.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Brett Simon, 7 Robbers Path. I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $15,000 to the Upton Community Center Playground Capital Improvement Stabilization Fund.
Second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation.
Favorable action.
Thank you very much. Now, it says on the article 2/3 majority vote. Actually, this was copied from last year when we created it, which then it did require a 2/3 majority vote, but it only does require a majority vote. So, thank you, Madam Town Manager, for finding that and taking care of that. And by the way, with all the stuff going on, we haven't officially had an introduction of our new town manager, Kristen Rubin. Could you stand up, please, and everyone give her a hand, please? Let me use that sports analogy and say she hit the ground running. So thank you very much. Great job. Okay, so Article 14 still. Any discussion on that? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Article 15. Road construction appropriation.
Article 15, I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $600,000 to be used for the construction and/or improvement of town roads to supplement those provided for under the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Mass General Law, Chapter 90 program, including all expenses incidental and related.
Second.
Second, moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation?
Favorable action.
Favorable action by the FinCom. Thank you very much. Any discussion on the motion? Again, majority vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Article 16.
I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $304,595 to fund the snow and ice deficit for FY 2026.
Second.
Moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation?
Favorable action.
Yeah, you'll see that the number is a little bit less than what's in the article. That is perfectly okay. Could I have the card, please? Great, thank you. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Article 17, Water Risk and Resiliency Assessment and Emergency Response Plan.
I move the town vote to transfer $52,800 from water retained earnings for the purpose of funding the Department of Environmental Protection required water risk and resiliency assessment and emergency response plan, including all costs incidental and related.
Second. Moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation?
Favorable.
Favorable action by the FinCom. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Article 18, Sewer System Rehabilitation Project Phase 2.
Article 18, I move the town vote to transfer $33,800 from wastewater retained earnings for the purpose of funding the next phase of the town's sewer rehabilitation project, including all costs incidental and related.
Second.
Okay, FinCom, second?
Second.
Second, FinCom recommendation?
Favorable action.
Favorable action by the FinCom. Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, that was, what are we on to? 20. That's right. 19 was community preservation, it's all set. B and C, those are all done. 20, CPA open space funds for Trailbridge. Mr. Penco.
Yes, Mike Penco, 1 Grafton Road. I move to pass over this Article 20.
Moving to, a motion to pass over the article. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion about passing over Article 20, which means that we will not vote on it if we pass over it, essentially. Okay, seeing none, all those in favor of passing over Article 20 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no? No. Motion carried by a majority. Thank you. Article 21 was, that's already been done, consent calendar. 22, Whitney Conservation Area tree removal.
Mr. Moderator.
Mr. Penco.
Thank you. Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $15,000 to remove hazard trees at the Whitney Conservation Area, including all costs incidental and related, and said tree removal to be under the direction of the Conservation Commission.
Second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation.
Favorable.
Mr. Penco, card please. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Article 23, Forest Heights Care, Custody, and Control. Mr. Penco.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to approve Article 23 as set forth in the warrant, authorizing the Select Board to acquire by donation, purchase, or eminent domain certain rights and restrictions on 0 North Street, allowing for the sale of a conservation restriction, and authorizing the Select Board to transfer the care, custody, management, and control of these parcels to the Conservation Commission.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. FinCom, do you have a recommendation on this or not?
Negative.
I didn't think so, okay. So moved and seconded, have the card, please. Any discussion on this at all? Okay?
Mr. Moderator,
Mr. Pencroff.
could you please ask town council if they have anything to say?
So, town council, do you have any comment on this?
I'm happy to answer questions on it if people have questions
Okay.
on it.
But if not, that's fine. Okay, no problem. Does anybody have any questions on this that town council might need to address? If not, that's okay. Okay, thank you anyways. Appreciate it. Okay. Just want to make sure this is a 2/3 majority vote. So, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no? Motion carries by 2/3 majority. Okay, Article 24. 444.
Good evening. My name is Dave Connors, 13 Hopkinton Road, Chair of the Lakes, Ponds, and Streams Committee. Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $2,500 for the collection of underwater imagery of the potential benthic algal mat at the bottom of Pratt Pond, including all costs incidental and related.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation.
Favorable.
Favorable action by the FinCom. Any discussion? Okay. One quick point. We use the word free cash a lot. I know most of you probably knows what that means. It's money that is sort of in the bank. It's the available unappropriated funds. So that's what free cash means, okay? Sir, any comments? Go ahead. You're waiting? Okay, no problem. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. 25.
Mr. Moderator, I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $7,000 for the collection and testing of cyanotoxin concentrations and cyanobacteria cell counts at Pratt Pond, including all costs incidental and related.
Okay, second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation.
Favorable action.
Favorable action by the FinCom. Okay, any questions? Right. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. 26. Water quality sampling.
One last time.
Yep.
I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $10,000 for the collection and testing of water quality samples from the various bodies of water within the town, including all costs incidental and related.
Okay. Second. Moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation.
Favorable.
Favorable action by the FinCom. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Article 28, Fire Station Vehicle Bay Drainage Repair. Should I call you Chief Bradley or is not? Okay, Mr. Bradley.
Call me anything you want. I'm sure I've been called worse. Michael Bradley, Warren Street. Mr. Moderator, I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $289,000 to repair the interior drain of the fire station, including all costs incidental and related.
Second.
Moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation.
Favorable action, Mr. Moderator.
Favorable action by the FinCom. Any discussion on the motion? Yes, further question. Sir?
Barry Lynn, 66 Rockwood Lane. This is a large sum of money. I wanted to understand a little bit more about this drain and how could it be $289,000? Did we get 3 bids? I mean, how did you come up with this number?
Okay, that's a fair question, and you will get an answer.
Mr. Moderator?
Mr. Westgate.
So for everyone's understanding, this article actually was presented last town meeting, and we didn't have free cash certified, if you recall. And because of that, we had to bring it back. But it approved at the last town meeting. This is the apparatus floor draining for all of the equipment in the fire department. So this drain literally would stretch right across this entire room. And it captures all the runoff from the apparatus equipment when it comes in after putting out a fire or when it's driving around during winter. And it brings all the material out to a water oil separator before it goes into a tight tank to be pumped out. And the drain itself has failed. So it requires engineering services a great deal of permitting to replace it, and a great deal of work, which is very specific, around a heated floor. Hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, sir?
It doesn't answer my question.
That's all right, come on.
It doesn't answer my question.
Okay,
The
so,
question is, did you go out and get 3 bids? How did you come up with the 289?
okay, so, more specifics?
Okay.
Thank you, yeah.
So a licensed professional engineer put that price together. We don't go to 3 bids unless it's approved. If this is approved, then it goes out to bid.
Great. Anything else? Okay, good. No problem. Great. So, all those in favor of the motion derived from Article 28, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Article 29.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $65,000 to purchase 2 Lucas 3 devices, including all costs incidental and related.
Okay. Moved and seconded. At the card, please. Mr. Bradley. Thank you. FinCom recommendation?
Favorable.
Favorable. Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no? Sorry about that. That was unanimous. Okay, Article 30, police portable radios.
I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $19,271 to purchase 10 Kenwood Viking VP 5000 portable radios, including all cost and incidental and related.
Second? Moved and seconded, FinCom recommendation?
Favorable action, Mr. Moderator.
Favorable action by the FinCom. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no? Motion carries unanimously. Article 31.
I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $105,000, or $105,768 for the purpose of purchasing a replacement police vehicle, including all costs related and incidental.
Second. Moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation?
Favorable action, Mr.
Favorable action. Mr. Lynn?
Barry Lynn, 66 Rockwood. I wanted to understand if they considered leasing a vehicle, and I also wanted to find out if they're considering green, like electric vehicles for the police.
Okay. Does anybody want to address those two particular questions, leasing and possible green vehicle? Chief? Did you get the question, Chief? Okay, thank you.
Good evening. Nick Palmieri, Upton Police Chief.
Yep.
We've looked into some leasing, not extensively. Our history is to purchase vehicles. We haven't traditionally leased. I know there are some options. Long term, I don't know if the cost savings is there. It still requires outfitting, so.
Okay. How about the green aspect of a vehicle?
We've not explored that. Not necessarily heard positive things. We drive the Tahoes. I don't know if the savings significantly better by driving a green vehicle.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Questions? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no? No. Motion carries by a majority. Okay, 32. Telephone system upgrade for police, fire, EMS.
Article 32, I move that the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $30,435.54 for the purpose of upgrading the police, fire, EMS telephone system, including all costs related and incidental.
Second, moved and seconded. FinCom recommendation?
Favorable action.
Favorable action by the FinCom. Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Article 32, Stormwater Bylaw Amendment. Oh, I'm sorry, we just did that. 33, yes.
Mary Overhold, Conservation Administrator. I move the town vote to amend the Town of Upton Stormwater Bylaw as set forth in Article 33 of the warrant, and to authorize the town clerk to make any necessary non-substantive corrections, including renumbering, to incorporate these changes into the general bylaws.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second, I could have the card, please. So, I just have a basic question with regard to the changes here. Are they simply clerical, or are there substantive changes?
There are substantive changes. We are changing the thresholds for permit applications.
Okay.
In general, we are making them less stringent, and they'll be matching the other towns that are around us.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? I just wanted to ask that question to see whether we needed to have general discussion on it. Okay.
David Brooks, 3 Cranberry, one clarification. I know it's not part of the change, but who issues the land disturbance permit?
Did you hear the question? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Conservation Commission is in charge of administrating these permits. So land disturbance permits and administrative land disturbance permits, we issue them.
Conservation Commission's in charge of these. Okay, great. Anything else? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Let's see, where are we? We are up to Article 34, zoning bylaw amendment. Ms. Robertson.
Kathy Robertson, 59 Fowler Street. I move the town vote to amend the Town of Upton zoning bylaws as set forth in Article 34 of the warrant, and to authorize the town clerk to make any necessary non-substantive corrections, including renumbering, to incorporate these changes into the zoning bylaws.
Second? Moved and seconded. Let's see, discussion? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Mike Antonellis, Director of Land Use and Inspectional Services. Just quickly to just inform people of the need for this change. This is an attempt to control for the impact of felt by the residential ground mount solar installations. It will require site plan review, which is issued by the planning board. And the intent of that is to control for the appropriateness of the siting of these ground-mounted structures. A quick example is, just suppose you have an installation that's going to be in a densely populated neighborhood where an installation is going to be close to a neighboring house. The planning board would have the ability and the discretion to add something like a row of arborvitaes in order to create a buffer or something like that. So just an opportunity to mitigate for any impacts.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion on this motion? It does require a 2/3 majority vote since it is a zoning bylaw change. Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no? Motion carried by a 2/3 majority. Article 30. Okay, so just hang on for a quick second, please, if you could. Before we get to Article 35, there's a couple of quick things I would like to say. Okay, first off, I really mean this sincerely when I say this. When you have a meeting like you have tonight, you don't quite know how everything is going to work itself out. We had 2 huge articles, and we had a lot of other very important articles as well. We have changes in technology, 2 rooms to deal with, and by and large, I think everything ended up working out okay, to be quite honest with you. And I'll just follow up by saying this. This is my opinion, and I will simply say it. Many towns in the state of Massachusetts do this all the time. They all do it very well, like you do. And I would like somebody to take copies of these meetings and send it down to people in Washington who run other legislative branches to show them how it's supposed to be done. I'm going to say it. Thank you. So, on a little bit of a different note, a little bit of a sad note, I need to say this. Back in January, Mr. Rufin Van Bossett was a former moderator here in Upton. He passed away. He's a wonderful man. And I mention that because he was moderator for 2 years, and if someone's a moderator, and they pass away, I say something about them, because that's important to me. He was on a number of other committees here. He was a selectman on other things as well. He became a moderator during 2 difficult years, when it was difficult to find somebody to run for moderator. He did a wonderful job. And more important than that, he helped save chestnut trees in the world. That was his job, that was his passion. So, we don't have to stand or anything, but if we could all just have a quick moment of silence for Mr. Rufus Van Boston, I would appreciate that. Thank you. Article 35. Go ahead, sir.
Bill Taylor, 211 North Street, a member of the Planning Board. I move the town vote to amend the Town of Upton zoning bylaws as set forth in Article 35 of the warrant, and to authorize the town clerk to make any necessary non-substantive corrections, including renumbering, to incorporate those changes into the zoning bylaws, and further to replace the word grandfathering with the word pre-existing in the bylaw.
Okay, thank you. Second, any discussion? This does require 2/3 vote. Go ahead.
Ms. Moderator, Mike Antonellis, Director of Land Use and Inspectional Services. Just on that change from grandfathering to pre-existing that was made mention in the motion. Pre-existing is just a more official term. Grandfathering as a term does not appear in Mass General Law. I believe Town Council can back me up on that. It's we just don't use that term. So pre-existing is in keeping with the terminology that's used elsewhere in the bylaws.
Absolutely, great. Anything else?
And then just to the intent of the bylaw, this is just revisiting the language to affirm the original intent of the bylaw as it was originally proposed and adopted in its current form, which is to allow ADUs that were previously approved to be treated like a protected use ADU, in quotes, per the new state law, as many of us may be familiar with. Yeah, that's it.
Great, thank you very much. Any other discussion on this? Okay, before we vote, I just want to say real quick, after we vote, I know that I'm going to entertain a motion to adjourn and dissolve the warrant. Finance Committee Chair has asked for a minute or two to say a few things before we adjourn the meeting, okay? So, 2/3 vote. All those in favor of the motion derived from Article 35 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no? No. Motion carries by 2/3 majority. Mr. Flaherty.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. This is the last Finance Committee function that my good friend Mr. McGuire at the end of the table will be attending. He was an elected member of this committee for 3 terms. He served on the original OPEB study committee. He was on one of the earlier feasibility studies for the capital budget committee. And what else did he? He was on the earlier DPW committees as well. So just a recognition, this was an elected position. He served for 3 terms, 9 years. He was an excellent contributor. He really didn't say much, but when he did, he asked good questions. And Mr. McGuire, you will be missed. And I thank for the time that I've been here. I thank you for your time and your commitment you made to this committee.
Thank you, Mr. McGuire, as well. Thank you very much for your time and service. Good. Even though the green light is on, the green light's on, so that means that it's on now. Like magic. Okay. Kathy Robertson.
Kathy Robertson, 59 Fowler Street. I move that we dissolve the warrant and adjourn the 2026 annual town meeting.
Is there a second? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, folks.